things on the internet where they put a virtual reality headset on people, and they had them sitting in a chair, and yet they showed them going on a roller coaster or something like that, and people actually got motion sickness and threw up, and yet they never moved, they never did anything. It was just the way that they were thinking that caused these physical reactions. And did you know that it is not what's happening in your life that's really the problem? It's the way you process it. It's the way you think about it that is really reality to you. You know, if we were in a service, and if I just came out with a bold-faced lie, and say, for instance, I told one of my employees to come up and tap you on the shoulder and say that your husband, your wife, has just died in a car wreck. And if it was a total lie, if there was no reality to it whatsoever, did you know that you would immediately start feeling the panic, the fear, the grief, and things as if it had actually happened, and yet there was no reality to it. It's just the way you're thinking. And then if you realize that I had lied to you, you would immediately start feeling anger and bitterness towards me, because why would I do something like that to you? And yet, see, nothing had happened. There was no reality to it at all. Your emotions are directly linked to the way you think. And if you are a person who is struggling with depression and discouragement, you are a person who is dealing with negative thoughts is what the problem is. It's the way you're processing things. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have problems, but I'm saying the problem is the way you're processing those problems. And I've given a lot of examples in just the last 2 days about how I've dealt with death. I've dealt with doctors telling me I was going to have open heart surgery. I've dealt with rejection, all kinds of things. And yet I just think differently about it. And I was starting with this verse in John 14:1, where Jesus told his disciples the night before his crucifixion, "Let not your heart be troubled." Most people would think this is impossible. This is unreasonable for Jesus to tell his disciples to not let their heart be troubled when they saw him betrayed and crucified, and they weren't supposed to be troubled. That's exactly what he said. And how do you do that? He says, you believe in God, believe also in me. And you can't just believe in Jesus without believing in his words. He had prophesied 14 different times that he would be crucified, and 7 of those 14 times he had prophesied that he would rise from the dead. If they would have been approaching everything through his word, I'm not saying that they would have been happy at seeing him crucified and rejected, but they would have known that there's more to it. They would have known that he was coming back just as he had prophesied that he would and stuff. So they could have responded differently if they would have kept the word in focus.